Good morning. Good morning, Helen. Lovely, lovely Sunday. Lovely sunny Sunday. Good morning. So I'm not sure if you're going to join in with the facial. I've got a whole load of products set up here, and in case you're just joining because you've seen it that I've popped up live, or you've seen the schedule that I'm doing a facial, and I invite you to join in if you've got all your stuff or any bit of your stuff, and or you can just watch. It's entirely up to you. But I sort of wanted to do something where we could have a bit of interaction and chat and do a little facial together and share some products and tips and have a bit of a lovely morning. So I'm just going to wait for a few more to join, or if you want to go and get any of your stuff, if you do want to join. I'm just going to close the door actually, 1 second. Okay, so I've got cleansers, pre-cleanse, like I've got a balm cleanser and a pre-cleanse, which is a pre-cleanse, and I've got a foaming wash. I'll talk you through each product as I go ahead. So cleansers, toner, scrub, like an exfoliate. I've got a mask, I've got some serums, I've got some warm water here, and I'm going to put a drop of rosemary, 1 drop of rosemary, just to give the water a lovely, refreshing aroma. I've got some muslins. You can use flannels. I've got some muslins, so God, that smells nice, that. So most of my products are Wideye. I think you know that I am in partnership with Wideye, and I'm using a lot of their products. But 1 drop of rosemary just there just lifted my mood instantly. That's real instant limbic effect there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I'm just going to put a towel on my lap. A sec. Flannel there. Good. Okay, so let's begin. So if you've got your stuff, now I'm going to do a double cleanse. You might not have 2 products to do a double cleanse. You might just do your own cleanser twice. But this is called Rehab Cleansing Balm. It's like an oily based product, and it's like a pre-cleanse. It really lifts out any deep grime. It's usually good sort of more towards the end of the day, really, for a good balm cleanse, but it has a sort of oily consistency. So I'm using spatulas with all my products here. So I'm going to start straight on. See you soon, Gemma. Okay, so now, when you go for a facial, of course, you get the opportunity to completely and utterly relax and switch off, which is gorgeous. I should have done a before selfie, actually. I always forget to do that when I'm demoing facial, but already you can see that this product has warmed the skin. Because what we want to achieve is a lot of fresh oxygenated blood and a lot of chi into the skin of the face, and also some lymphatic drainage to take away any sort of buildup of excess tissue fluid. Okay, so I've got, like I said, I've got muslin squares here. I find working with muslin just a little bit easier than flannels and sponges. I really like it because they're thin. And so when I'm doing a facial, I put the cloth over the top first and then swoosh and off, and then actually I do the bottom first and swoosh. When I'm doing a facial for myself, it's a little different in that I'll just work with the whole cloth. But can you see that with the muslin, your fingers get to do detailed work? Okay, then I'm going to go in for a second cleanse, which is, hi Jilly, I thought about you this morning, Jilly, because I'm doing Huel. Do you remember you were introducing me to Huel? I'm doing a Huel smoothie in the mornings now. So this is the Skin Fuel face wash. It's got marine collagens and quinoa and mei chang. It's a really nice product. So I'm just going to, and it's got soap bark. So the thing about Wideye is they have no sodium lauryl sulfates, they have no parabens, no nasties. They keep it really, really clean and eco. So this is with soap bark that foams it. It's a naturally occurring foaming product. So I'm just going to let it down with a little bit more water. And they have a whole range at Wideye of different products for combination skin, normal skin, mature skin, sensitive. So the product range that I've selected for myself is a little bit more for the mature skin, being a mature lady. Okay, so let's take that off. And again, with myself, I use the whole cloth over my face. I wouldn't use the whole cloth over a client's face. It's a bit too smothering, but for myself, it's okay. So with the skin cleansed, I like to spray straight on with a toner, even with a dampness of the skin rather than drying it off. So I just spray, and I love the spray, the Wideye. This is the balancing toner. It's a rose hydrolat, and it's really fantastic. And they've developed this nozzle here. I know it's a simple thing, but they've developed a nozzle here that sprays the whole of your face, so that it's not like in your face. Okay, and then again, I don't. Some facialists will blot with a tissue, but I tend not to do that. And so I'm going to come in with my exfoliate. This is the Rehab. This is orange, lemon, and rice bran grain. I'm going to get a spatula. So if you're joining in and you've got your stuff with you, it's time to do the exfoliate. So I'm going to put a little, one of the tips when I teach facial is that you put the product at the forefingers rather than putting it all in your palms of your hand, because then you've got to sort of do it with the palm of your hand. But if you put the product at the forefingers, you can then work it, you've got a bit more control over it, and then you can use your whole hand. But just to get the product on, I use the product and I'm just going to bring it down onto my neck. So as I said, when you go for a facial, you get to just completely switch off. I absolutely love having facials. I find it deeply and utterly relaxing. But that's not to say that you shouldn't care for your skin yourself. It's just so lovely to have somebody else doing the work, shall we say, or the treatment for you. A little bit over my lips. I don't go too close to my eyes. I don't want any grain or grit in my eyes. So yeah, if I was doing a facial, I'd sort of, work with a bit more with the palm of my hand, but this is fine here, just to sort of work in circles, taking off the top layer of the epidermis. It takes 28 days for skin cells to be created in the basal layer of the epidermis and to rise up through the skin layers of the top layer of the skin. And after 28 days, that top layer will be shed and removed. It happens sort of naturally anyway on a day-to-day basis, but what we're doing when we do a facial or using an exfoliate, and I would recommend using an exfoliate maybe twice a week, it's really encouraging that top layer of the epidermis to be removed. And when we do that, we're really able to, first of all, we're able to condition and smooth the surface so that we can then put some products onto it. But it also allows for cellular rejuvenation. And there's different routines that I do in the morning to the evening, and often, I don't do all of this every day, absolutely not. In fact, my morning and evening routines are pretty quick, but there are serums and products that I'll put on in the morning and not the evening, and vice versa. So with the exfoliate, I really do like a double cleanse off, like a wash off again. And it may be that, I'm just going to put this to one side, it may be at this point I've got another hydrolat. This is rose water. This is an organic rose water. It is a hydrolat. Hydrolats, I think I've told you this before, hydrolats are the water component from the distilling process, or the solvent process, is where when you take a plant matter, distill it, and the water's boiled in the steam distillation process has a cooling process. The water that's taken off from the distillery process before the oil is extracted is called a hydrosol and a hydrolat. So I've just soaked a couple of pads in hydrosol, the rose hydrosol. Oh, it's so good. It smells amazing. So you can already see that the surface of my skin is looking much brighter. Not that you examined my skin on arrival, but I can tell you it's looking a lot brighter. I can see that the blood has surfaced to, the blood's come to the surface. Let's put that to one side. Okay, and now I'm going to do a facial massage. Oh, I didn't bring my facial oil. Let me just grab some facial oil. One second, sorry. These are facial oils that I make myself. So I've got, these are my facial oils. And so sometimes I mix rose, geranium and frankincense, or ylang ylang, frankincense and rose. What's that one? They're all lovely. I mean, with all of those products, they have the cellular rejuvenating properties, which is what you want. And they are suspended in apricot kernel oil and a little bit of jojoba oil, because they are the closest to the natural sebum of the skin. So I'm going to come on with my facial oil. So I hope this isn't too boring, and I'll show you a few bits of facial massage. So I can actually feel, just as a heads up, I can actually feel in my hands there's a little bit of grit remaining from the scrub, and that's all right. It's not, I can't feel it on my face. I can just feel it in my fingers, and it's not loads, but I can definitely feel that there's still a little, and not to be alarmed by that. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so an effleurage, it's really difficult for me to do it this way round, because usually when you're with a client, you're doing it down and up and round. But just for myself, again, staying with the principle of circles, the idea is to lift and tone and move and massage the muscles and the skin of the face. So you can really improvise in circles. You can start at the top of the forehead. And I can smell the essential oils of the oil, which is also incredibly delicious. Oops. Up here, round my eyes, along the brow, a little bit here in the corrugator, the frown line, orbicularis oculi, and then really lots of massage around the zygomatic area, which is the cheekbones, and the masseter. So I'm just starting with circles. And I like to work very much around my mouth. I'm going to just get my gua sha in a minute, because it's just the perfect opportunity if you've got your gua sha to get that out. Lifting up the chin. I'm certainly feeling, as I'm getting a little older, that my chin is sagging. So we keep this going. Lift, lift, lift. Along the jawline. And again into this TMJ, the temporomandibular joint. Around the masseter. So I'm just working a little bit quicker so that it doesn't get too boring, but you can massage for 15 minutes all around my neck, décolleté. And then I'm going to just show you a little bit of the gua sha. So before I start, I work to just drain any lymphatic vessels towards the lymphatic ducts. Once you have a clear lymphatic flow, you can then do some more drainage. So I'm going to start. And I think you've seen me doing gua sha before, because I've been doing it since about 2005. Way before the curve of the trend, we were doing it. And I think some of you have even bought gua sha before it became incredibly trendy to do. So I'm just working to drain down towards that, but I don't know if you can hear that knocking, banging. That's Ryan creating furniture. I think he's making something. Okay, and then I'm going to start on my face. So, as we discussed before, you can buy gua sha tools quite inexpensively from eBay or Amazon. This one's a carnelian stone. It's quite thin. And can you see already that really creates... I tell you what else I haven't... I could do everything, but there's a honey facial that I do where we use honey. That's also really cool. That's another video. If you scroll through my YouTube channel, there's honey facial on there, which is brilliant to use. Okay, I'm going to go to the other side. So this really drains any sort of excess tissue fluid into the pre-auricular nodes, the lymphatic nodes, and then you can work to sort of swish that lymph down towards the thoracic ducts. The thoracic ducts eventually tip into the subclavian vein and then join the superior vena cava, which then goes back into the heart. So the circulatory system replenishes and recleanses tissue fluid back into the bloodstream. So definitely see that lovely fresh oxygenated blood resurfacing into the skin. And then across the top. And the thing, you can use these stones, you see the little ridges there, because you can use those to sort of work up. It's very intuitive work with the gua sha. You know, it's not a hard and fast rule of like you have to do it like so, but you can definitely see that reddening as the blood flow is increased. That's the great thing about gua sha. It's very quick. And certainly, I've just done a recent video around my neck and shoulders using the stone. And then if you wanted to get any closer, like if I was doing my lips, I'd do a rubbing backwards and forwards. And then 2 or 3 times a week, I would use my derma roller. I use a 0.5 derma roller, but I always recommend like a 0.25 to start with, so it doesn't hurt you. And when you do derma rolling, you have to criss and cross. So I'm just rubbing where the lines would be, just to have a bit of extra. It doesn't do it in one go. This is an ongoing process, the gua sha. It's not a one-hit wonder. It's something that I do all the time. But you can see the real effect of it is that it brings fresh oxygenated blood. And when you've got fresh nutrients and oxygenated blood, it encourages cellular rejuvenation. And it also encourages lymphatic drainage, which takes any sort of excess tissue fluid away. That's reducing the puffiness. The fine lines, again, you know, we can use some really nice products too, like retinols and peptides and hyaluronic acid products to try and hydrate and boost and improve the texture of the skin. It doesn't look that great when I look down, but when I look up, it looks better. Anyway, that's the gua sha. My face feels warm. It feels very flushed and warm, which is great. Now, I leave the oil on. I leave the oil on before I bring on the mask. I don't take the oil off. This is scissoring as well. Just a couple more techniques before I move on. The Korean chicks like properly slap the face. Okay. And then, of course, there's the whole world of microcurrent and microcurrent and frequency, which it can be introduced. If you've got a galvanic, like a handheld galvanic machine or a handheld frequency machine where you can put a current frequency that also helps to really lift and stimulate and tone the skin and the muscles of the skin. Okay, I'm going to choose, today I've got a green clay mask. Now there's lots of different masks. I've got like an aloe vera gel mask that's really cooling. There's another cream mask that's really cooling. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I like a little clay mask. This one is green clay, lots of minerals and a very high mineral content. You can also mix bentonite or green clay in with just a little bit of rose water, and you can apply those. So you can apply these with a brush. I'm going to apply this with my fingers. And so, yeah, this is a green clay mask with high mineral content. And this would definitely, I don't like to strip. It's quite a nourishing one, even though it's a clay mask. It's quite creamy in texture. It doesn't feel like it's going to go hard like the old school clay masks that set hard. So I'm just going to put this mask on. don't know if anybody's following along with your own products, but there's so many different types of masks. There's and Wideye have a whole range. They've got about 4 or 5 different masks. Some of them are more gentle, some of them are deeper. So I'm going to get this on, and then I'm going to read a little bit to you from my lovely book I'm reading, or I was sharing. And then also ask any questions if you've got any questions or comments. So I think the application with your hands. Oh, this is nice. It feels a little bit tingly. I haven't got my glasses on. I can't even put my glasses on because I won't be able to read the content. It's too small. Hang on. Ta-da! So I'm going to leave this on for just the Wideye Rehab Mask. What's in the Rehab Mask? Because some of them have more essential oils and, this is more like minerals and I can't see without my glasses on, but there's aloe vera, the green clay, vegetable, aloe leaf, papaya, rosewood essential oil, rosewood clay. I like clays. Okay, and so I'm going to leave this on for a few minutes and I'm going to read to you from my lovely book. And it's got grapefruit, bergamot and papaya with yellow clay and oat extract. That's the Rehab Mask. So a variety, some are more astringent and purifying, some are more nourishing and they put minerals into the skin. Some are very hydrating with more rose extract. And there are loads. There's lovely algae. I think Dermalogic do some really nice green algae masks. And what other products? Masks have I used? I think the green people do some nice masks. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit from this book that I was sharing the other day. Oh, it's back to front, sorry. It's the Little Book of Intentional Living. And I'm working through this with some of the exercises and it's so lovely. There's a little bit of I haven't got my glasses on, so excuse me if I'm squinting or struggling to read it, but it's got 7 empowering beliefs for intentional living. And intentional living is living with purpose and living with deliberate action rather than just going on luck and hoping everything sort of just goes away and everything just sorts itself out. This is a very powerful way of being so that you're living deliberately. Beliefs are either empowering or disempowering. Why not adopt these 7 empowering beliefs instead of any disempowering ones? Number 1, power lies inside you. You have the power through your thoughts and intentions to change your life. 2, you have all the gifts and resources that you need right now. The power to change starts with the intentions that you set today. Your future need not be ruled by the past. 3, what you believe will become the truth in your life. Your intentions create the reality, and what you focus on is what you will create. Consciously setting intentions will change the outcome you get. A lot of you know this already, but I just think it's so nice to remind us. There's a lot of this stuff I've learned 25 years ago, but you know what? I love to be reminded of it pretty much every day. Limits only exist in your mind. Change your mindset and you will alter your experience of life. The outcome of your intentions shows you what exactly you really are. And if you're not creating the life you want, change your intentions. 6, People always make the best choices available to them at the time. We aren't perfect, and it doesn't matter if you change your intention later on. Learning is part of life. I always think that's really a great one, is that you can create an intention and create a possibility. And if you don't fulfill it, or you don't do it, it's not about giving yourself a hard time or beating yourself up about it. You literally make that statement, yeah, I didn't make that, I didn't do that, and then you can clear that up and reset a new intention or a new possibility. Number 7, those who are most flexible will create the best outcomes. Continually renew and reset your intentions and keep examining what really matters. All life is essentially feedback. And we talk a lot about that. I know that in the school, when you come to study, it's, the power of intention when you're doing body work, and certainly with the healing process, it's the resonance and frequency of yourself with that healing intention that really has a powerful effect on your clients and on others. And if you're positive and vibrant and radiant, that really transfers onto others. Okay, now I'm going to have to go and change my water because the water has just cooled off and it's got from before. So I'm just going to go and give you a minute's break while I go and change my water, because I haven't got a sink in this room. So please wait, don't go away, because I've got serums coming up. Okay. So, we're ready to take this off. Got some fresh water. You can put another drop of rosemary in there. This doesn't feel tight. You know how that they did in the olden days. It doesn't feel like it's set and it's going to crack. It just feels like it's got a nice feeling. It's a little bit of a tight feeling, and it's drawing out impurities, but also nourishing with minerals and fruit extract and the green clay. I use green clay on my dogs. I've told you that before, I'm sure. But I use it in the powdered form, where I dust the green clay onto any cuts or wounds or any smelly ears. The green clay is so good for purifying and healing. It happens very quickly. Okay. So it comes off really quickly. Again, you don't have to do like over scrubbing. Clean around my nose ring. Yeah, that's excellent. That feels great. Okay. I'm going to do another spritz with the rose hydrolat, which is refreshing. And now I'm going to apply some of my serums. So the serums I get from Beauty Pie. I don't know if you've heard of Beauty Pie, but they have some really nice products, and all their serums are plant-based products, like a superfood. So there's these little capsules. They have got lots of berry extracts and exotic fruit oils and micro sponge and Resveratrol. But they have like a high antioxidant properties with a lot of berry components. I've also got these super drops. These are it's hyaluronic acid and peptides. And the hyaluronic acid and the peptides, these are naturally occurring molecules that trap moisture into the skin, so causing a very strong hydration property. So I use that. And also I've got their Plantastic product, which is really lovely. This is what's it called, a salicylic acid, and this really helps any sort of sun damage or blemishes of the skin. So I usually use one of these every day, just one a day, usually in the morning, and I put the hyaluronic acid on usually in the evening, and I put the Plantastic on in the morning. But let me show you, I'm going to put all of them on today. So you can layer serums. It's absolutely fine to layer serums. So these little ampules, you twist and then squeeze the product on. And here with the serums, they absorb very quickly onto the skin. So I'll put that on. And then I'll put a little bit of hyaluronic acid on. It sounds like hyaluronic acid's like toxic and dangerous, but it's not. It's just, again, like a naturally occurring molecule that we have that diminishes in age. And the peptides also, they really create and encourage collagen production in the skin. So anything that encourages the molecular rediscovery of collagen and elastin fibers are a winner. And then the Plantastic, this salicylic acid, this is great. I find that this really helps with marking, like sun damage marking, and just helps any sort of problematic skin as well, any breakouts. It really helps to calm those breakouts, be them hormonal breakouts. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of eye gel on. This is actually a Neal's Yard product. It's a white tea toning eye gel. I know that Wideye have got a nice eye gel, but I've got quite a few eye gels. So, and I just put those around the orbital cavity, so the bones of the orbital cavity here, rather than going too close to the eye itself. Just keep that on. And so I do use oil every day. I use oil, these facial oils. I use those as my moisturizer. So I'm going to reapply a tiny bit, and then I'm going to put a bit of the lovely moisturizer I've got. So just like literally a couple of drops there. And I'm just going to press that on. This keeps me really hydrated. Now, actually today I was thinking that it would be good to put then an SPF on. I've still got an Environ Rad, it's called, SPF. Certainly I'm gonna, do you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm making compost, because we were informed that our green waste isn't going to be collected until further notice. And we did mowed the lawn a week or so ago and did some gardening. And so we've got a green bin full of grass and such like, and some flowers. And so I thought I would make a compost heap. And so I'm going to do that today. How cool is that? Oh yeah, I know what I'll tell you, because I'm going to be outside in the sunshine. I've also got a class today, a 3 o'clock Kundalini class, if anybody's interested in joining that. And so this is Skin Fuel Face Cream. My goodness, this is so good. It's got marine collagen and neroli. This just smells to die for. Absolutely exquisite. Get a little spatula for that. I like to use spatulas. These are from Amazon. They're lollipop sticks. I use these even just daily without putting my fingers in and out of the products. I think it's really important. So a little bit of that. Oh my God, the neroli. Neroli is the flowers of the orange blossom tree. Win-win. And very good for skin rejuvenation, cellular rejuvenation. So if you've got really clear, normal skin, you know, there's lots of other products within the Wideye range that, with lovely active ingredients of essential oils. I just particularly use the Skin Fuel range because of my age. So that is that. What do you think? What I think is that I can see that my face looks glowing. It'll probably calm down a little bit. It actually feels quite vibrant and active. It feels a little tingly, and I would definitely need an SPF if I was to go straight outside now. I would definitely put an SPF on. You really need to be careful of any of these products if you've got a product on you that has citrus fruits, then they are phototoxic. So I would just be either wear a hat or definitely get an SPF on. SPF 30 is a great one. I mean, the sun's not harsh today, but it doesn't matter. You should always have an SPF on your skin, no matter what. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to stay here for a second in case there's any questions or any comments from anybody. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed UVA is for aging. UVA comes through windows and present even on a cloudy day. UVA penetrates the dermis, exactly. So we've got Jilly here, who's an aesthetic nurse, and she's causing cell damage and inflammation, causing aging. So best to wear a broad spectrum SPF daily as best aging product. Thank you. Good. Really excellent. I definitely have that Rad Environ SPF that I wear daily. I think that I'm sort of guilty of not wearing too much SPF throughout the winter, but now absolutely 100%. Thank you, Julie, for that. So thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your time on this lovely sunny Sunday morning. And just get anything out that you've got and give yourself a little pamper. That's really, self-care is so important, that we take care of our skin on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes it's just, and sometimes even in the evening, it's so tired, just can't be asked to do anything. But as I've got older, I've really committed to definitely cleansing and looking after my skin morning and evening, so that I'm protecting it with an SPF, with the UVA rays. I had a one of those like a scan thing, and you see my face is all right. It's not too sun damaged. One of the things that I use in the morning that I haven't got here is a vitamin C serum. I use a vitamin C from Garden of Wisdom. So I use a vitamin C serum at night as well, and that goes on regularly as well. So that's a good investment. So the vitamin C serum, the hyaluronic acids, salicylic acids are really good. But yeah, cannot rate the Wideye products as a full range highly enough for having a daily good skincare routine. Hi Tess, you're there. Okay, lots of love. Have a beautiful day. And if any of you are joining me at 3:00 for Kundalini, that would be amazing. If any of you would like to join me, it's a private group. So just leave a message and I can send you the link if you want to join for the Kundalini practice. It's just under an hour. And I look forward to seeing you. So I'm off to make my compost, and I send you lots of love.